Hey guys, Alan Sarge. A few days ago, I made a video predicting that the elections would be suspended here in the near future. And some people saw some validity to it. Some people called me a flat earther. And some people just thought it was humorous. And that's fine. Everyone's allowed their opinion, especially on Howling Sarge's channel. I believe in free speech. And in order for me to believe in free speech, I have to allow free speech. So I don't delete comments. I don't block people. I don't censor anything. If YouTube doesn't like it, they just don't like it. But as long as this channel's here, you're allowed to say what you think. But back to my prediction. How many people would have thought that our government would stand back and watch our cities be burned, people hurt, people killed, and tell those with the ability to stop it to stand by and watch? Just stand by and let them vent. Let them destroy these communities. Who would have thought that? I wouldn't have. As a former police officer, I'd have been a police officer for a hot minute, and then I'd have been on a roof somewhere. But it happened. Who would have thought that a man who virtually hid out in his basement, who couldn't get more than 100 people to attend a rally, would get the most votes of any president ever? Honestly, who would have predicted that? Who would have thought that? Who would even consider the possibility of it happening? Because I damn well didn't. Who would have thought that a president would stand on national television and talk about Russia invading Ukraine and say, well, it depends on if it's a minor incursion or not. A minor invasion. What the hell is a minor invasion? Other than our southern border. I've never seen one before. Now, suspending elections would serve what purpose? Well, here's the purpose. The man sitting in the Oval Office right now is being protected. He's not a puppet figuratively. He's literally a puppet of a movement hell-bent on destroying America. He's just the face that they're using. You see, if Joe's impeached, they know Kamala's next in line. Now, Kamala's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, and she's not a conservative by any means. She's pretty extreme liberal, but she is one of those I am woman, hear me roar kind of people. I don't think she'd be bullied too well if she was the top dog. She would have to show her dominance. Yeah, she would be humping some of those liberals to show who's in power. You have to remember, Kamala come up through politics, come up through the ranks by consuming a diet of high protein politicians. That's what she cut her teeth on. So she's not going to be pushed around if she's the top dog. You can already see that. So they know they have to keep Joe in place. Because the Democrats see this next election as being very weak. They feel they will lose their ability to keep that man in office, to keep their control. And they need that. They have to have that for self-protection. Now, the Republicans are no better off. Republicans are nothing but a bunch of token assholes. They do sound bites and then squeeze back into the hedge with everybody else. So it's not just the Democrats. It's not just the liberals. It's the entire organization. It's the entire cartel in Washington taking part in this. Everything the Republicans do is token. Token. They've done nothing meaningful at all. Just sound bites. Now, if this election takes place and the Democrats lose majority, guess what happens then? Then the responsibility falls on the Republicans. The Republicans are just as bad as the Democrats. The Republicans really don't want to have that position of power, because then they would have to do something. Then they would be exposed. So they're better off if the Democrats stay in power, so they have someone to blame in their sound bites. Gives them cover. So the party that needs to be protected is the same party as the man sitting in the Oval Office. And who has the authority to grant martial law? Who has the authority to order martial law? The man in the Oval Office, who's part of the party who's protecting the man in the Oval Office. Are you with me? Now, the cast of characters. You have Putin, Biden, Clinton, and little Biden. This goes all the way back to Hillary versus Trump. There were certain things put out into the public domain that were being used against the incumbent president at the time, and Putin simply sat back and let it run its course. Token resistance, but let it run its course. He let it happen. Were there deals struck that Putin would be allowed to take Ukraine if Joe won? And then either they're not moving fast enough, or they got cold feet and Putin's pissed, and now he's going to take what he feels he was promised, that his participation in the bullshit means that they owed him that, and now he's just going to take it. Is that why Joe's response is so slow and so wishy-washy when it comes to it? Because he wants things to happen, but he wants to be able to keep his hands clean at the same time. That way no one can accuse him. The cast of characters keep coming back around, guys, all the way back to Hillary, Putin, Ukraine, Russia, Hillary, Biden, Hunter. It's all there. All the way back. So if you wouldn't have believed that our government would allow our cities to burn and people to be killed and billions of dollars in damage, if you wouldn't have believed that our government would go trillions upon trillions upon trillions of dollars farther in debt since certain people are in office, if you wouldn't have believed that a president wouldn't stand on national TV and say that it depends on whether it's a minor invasion or not, if you wouldn't have believed that our government would take a protest and try to make it into, what do they call it? Sedition, then how in the hell can you believe that our government would not fake an attack, fake a situation that would give them cover for calling for martial law to suspend an election? Can you tell me you don't believe it? Can you tell me they won't do it? You can't tell me they won't do it. Because everything they've done so far, you, if you were honest with yourself, you wouldn't have believed it would ever happen. But it did. And here we are. So, is it possible? You're damn right it's possible. But as always, that's just my opinion. You can take it with a grain of salt. This is Alan Sarge. I'm out.